Okay, good morning. Today is Tuesday, November 3rd. It's a big day. It's election day. So during Zoom, we're going to be going over a whole bunch of election stuff, and probably will be for the whole week. But so use your video to help you navigate your way through the other subjects, because like I said, today during our Zooms, we'll be focusing on the election. So for math, you want volume 1 workbook, and you're going to turn to page 95. You may not need to copy 95 anymore. You may already understand how to do it, but I want you to go through and do your times tables for your 6s, which we actually have already practiced. And then I want you to do your divisions with your 6 as well. And please don't forget to do your groupings along your whiteboard, okay? All right, very good. So then you're also going to complete page 102, and these are simply word problems. I will do the first problem for you, and you will do the rest by yourselves. Please notate that in the directions, it does say to draw a picture and then solve, right? So draw a picture to solve a problem. So you have 2 verbs here, 2 action verbs, and action verbs we're going to be covering in language arts this week, but you have draw and solve. All right, so draw a picture to help you solve each problem. Number 20 says, Anna has a ribbon that is 18 inches long. She cut the ribbon into 3 equal pieces. Whenever we see equal, we know we want division. And then she cut those pieces in half. Oh, this is a 2-step problem, you guys. So how many small pieces of ribbon are there? And how long is each piece? Wow, we've got a lot in this question, you guys. There's a lot to unpack in this question. So let's just take it one step at a time. That's all we need to do so we don't get overwhelmed, okay? So the first part, we know how to work with these numbers. She has a ribbon that's 18 inches long, and she needs to cut it into 3 equal pieces. All right, so let's just stop here. Let's figure out what is the length of those equal pieces. So what we're going to do is, essentially what we're doing is 18 divided by 3 equals. Okay, and if you're thinking of your number family, you may already be able to ask yourself, what number times 3 gives me 18? So you may already have an answer for that, right? The other thing that you can do is you can draw a ribbon. And you should draw a picture of the ribbon, right? The other thing you can do is you can get your whiteboards, okay? So I know I have 18 blocks right here. And actually, I'm going to go turn the light off so the glare isn't there. Just give me 1 second. Hopefully you can still see. Yeah, you can. Very good. Okay, so if we have 18, right? Now I've got to divide this into 3 separate sections. So there's 18. So I know that 6 times 3 gives me 18. So I'm just going to go here. 6. Can I circle 6 again? And can I circle 6 again? Yes. Okay. So I know that 18 divided by 3 is going to be 6. That means that each section of her ribbon is going to be 6 inches, right? Now there's a whole other part of this, okay? So we know that each section of her ribbon is going to be 6 inches long, but then she cuts each of those in half, okay? But you guys, if we know that each one of these is only 6, we know that dividing that in half would just be by 3. So 1, 2, 3, draw a line. 1, 2, 3, draw a line. That's all it is. So now, because she cut each one of those in half, each one ends up being 3 inches, right? So how many small pieces of ribbons are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how long? So there are 6 pieces of ribbon. And they are 3 inches each. Okay? I'm just going to write this symbol for and. So just remember, as you're working through this, you guys, you have a 2-step problem here. You have a 2-step problem, all right? So you're not done with that first step, okay? All right, so you will work out 21 through 24. Then you're going to come over to your volume 2, And I believe you're completing, I want to say it's page 100. It is 100, yes. So you're going to come over to 100. And these you know how to work with, you guys. This is with your 6s. I will fill in 3 for you. You have to do the rest alone. So 6 times 6 is 36. And pay attention to some of your number patterns, okay? Excuse me. We just worked with 3 times 6, which was 18. And I know that 30 divided by 10 is 3. And of course, you can check your answers down below. And now when we do this tomorrow, we already know how to do this because we did that in class last week. Yay! All right. And then you do have some IXL that is aligned with the work that you're doing. So please make sure you check your numbers on that. Everybody's been doing a really great job of keeping up with their IXL. I'm very proud and grateful. Thank you so much for working so hard. Okay, so now let's talk about language arts, and then we'll do reading. So language arts, you're going to be watching a video on action verbs. And after you watch your video on action verbs, then you're going to turn to page, I could just look on there, but I'm not, I'm just flipping through. There we go. Okay, so you're going to turn to page 140 for action verbs. Okay, and I think you're going to find this week's language arts skills to be a little bit easy, which is good. Okay, so, and be thinking about how can you integrate this into your writing. All right, you have kind of a cool writing assignment today, I think. So, or for the next 2 weeks. An action verb is a word that shows action. Some action verbs tell about actions that are hard to see. Let's read that again. Some action verbs tell about actions that are hard to see. So Carly enjoys parties. So what is she doing? She's enjoying a party. Hard to see just on the surface, but it is something you can infer or draw a conclusion about. So Carly might be, what is it like when she's enjoying a party? She's going to be smiling. She's going to be laughing. She's hanging out with her friends. She's playing games, right? Somebody who's at the party is not always necessarily enjoying the party. If they're sitting up against the wall, they're not talking to anybody, they look lonely. They're at the party, but they're not enjoying the party. So the actions are different. So Carly enjoys the party or enjoys parties. She invites friends for lunch. So what does she do? She invites. Again, not an action that you kind of see just right there in front of you, but something that you can infer or draw a conclusion about is if she's having friends over her house every weekend, then she has invited them. That's her action. So here is a list of action verbs. Choose an action verb to finish each sentence and write the verb on the line. Carly blank the door. Now notice all these verbs are going to have an S on the end, and that is because each subject of each one of your sentences is singular. And so when you have a singular subject, you use a plural noun. When you have a plural subject, you use a singular noun. So if these were plural, like Carly and her friends blank the door, then you would have a singular subject, okay? So let's see. I'm thinking it's a word. Oh, answers. There we go. Carly answers. They put it right there. Hopefully, they're not all going to be in order, the door. But again, if it's plural, it could say Carly's friends answer the door. And that would be, for those of you who are ready to make this harder for yourselves, you could change the same sentence so that it has a plural subject and a singular noun. So her friends answer the door, because I think some of you guys are ready for this. That's why I was saying this could be very easy. So what is another way you could push yourself? Her friends answer the door. Write the same sentence or do it in a Google Doc and send it to me. Okay. Let's just do one more just so I can show you that the verbs are not going to be in order. It just seems like that first answer goes with number one. I don't want your brains to be thinking there's a pattern here, because there isn't. It's going to be random. She blanked the guests. She does not eat the guests. She's not going to eat her guests. She is not going to slice her guests either, but she is going to greet her guests, right? So she greets her guests. Good. Okay. All right. So 4 through 10, you guys. And there is an IXL that you will do that will, I need to keep this out for reading, that will align with action verbs. Okay. So this week in reading, we are in a new unit, you guys. We are in Unit 3. So we've moved to Unit 2 for math and Unit 3 for reading. And so we go to our table of contents, we find Unit 2, and we're in the first story in Unit 2, but we are covering vocabulary. So we come down and we look at this story that we're reading is Author, a True Story, and we need to cover our vocabulary for the week. So talking to Lulu Delacroix, children's author, 288. So 288. All right, and of course, as always, we're going to look at our vocabulary for the week so you can say your words after me. Talented, single, proper, excitement, acceptance, useful. Oh, really, all of these words are great. So you're going to be reading an interview that was done with this children's author, and I'm wondering what book she has written. It looks like they give you the name of the books right here. All right, you guys, so you're going to go through, read your vocabulary. Remember that when you need to find your definition for your vocabulary words, you simply turn to your glossary in the back, which is the blue section. It's basically like a dictionary, but just with the words that are used in this text, okay? So for your vocabulary words that are used in this text, you can turn to the glossary to define them. So let's say if I wanted to look up what the word talented means. So I think most of us know what the word talented means. I go alphabetical order, and under T's, there's talented. So you are given a part of speech. This is an adjective, not a verb. This is the definition, and then it gives you an example with a sentence using the word. Okay, so that could be handy for when you complete your actual assignments with reading this week, or for today rather, I should say. And you do have 3 assignments. So the first is to cover your spelling for the week, which is going over the sound and can be made, say can be made using several different combinations of letters. Okay, so the spelling can be spelled in different ways. For example, it could be spelled ER when we hear her, or ER at the end of a word is IR when we hear skirt. Even though that looks like ear, right, you guys? And it is ear, but in the English language, there are definitely words that don't follow the same patterns that other words follow, which makes the English language very difficult to learn. But this is actually as well. So when we hear learn, even though we see the word ear, it's actually learn. In the word nurse. Okay, so everywhere you see a vowel with an R, you're going to hear in these words, you're going to hear okay? Now, answer each question with a word from the box that has the sound. I am not going to read these because I want you to practice sounding these out with the sound But number 1, I will help you do. Okay, so it says, when my room is blank, my mom makes me clean it before I can play outside. Okay, I can infer that your room is not clean, and not clean, the opposite of clean is dirty, right? So, and that choice is there. When my room is dirty, see the IR gives you the So if I know D, T, dirty, good. All right, so we're going to cross that off. So you won't use all these words. But then you're going to choose 2 other words from the box that have an sound and use them. Look at this. Use them in the same sentence, okay? And underline the words or highlight them or color them, one of them. All right. So 132 is working with your vocabulary. Those are the words that we just reviewed in the interview with the author. So your directions say to use the following words to complete each sentence. Below, I will do number 1 for you. You will do the rest. A snow shovel is the most blank tool for clearing snow off of a sidewalk. All right, we don't do a lot of that, do we here? But let's see. I can infer that this is a useful tool, right? So it's the most useful, meaning it's full of use for clearing snow off of a sidewalk. And I'm going to cross that off. All right, and then it wants you to write the definition for the following words, so it would be very useful to use your glossary here. Okay, useful. All right, and then this is a skill that we covered 2 weeks ago. Last week we talked about theme. 2 weeks ago we talked about author's purpose. So go ahead and read with me. At the top, there are 3 common purposes or reasons why authors write: to inform, or to give facts to readers; to persuade, or to convince readers to believe or do something; to entertain, or tell a good story. So read each passage and then circle the author's purpose, then explain. Okay, so number 1 and 2 I'll do with you, but you have to do 3 through 6. All right, writing is my favorite thing to do when I get home from school. You should definitely try it. After school, go home and just write about your thoughts for the day. Who knows? Maybe your thoughts will turn into a story. Okay, I definitely don't think that I'm getting really any new information. Nothing about facts here, so I'm going to cross that off. Entertaining, well, I mean, it was kind of a sweet story, but did it really entertain me? No, I feel like she's trying to convince me, she or he rather, is trying to convince me to do something different, right? Especially, maybe your thoughts will turn into a story. Like, the author is directing this towards me. So I feel like the author is definitely trying to persuade me, because the author wants me to go home and write. He or she, we don't know what gender the author is promoting an idea for me to explore. Okay? All right, so you're going to do the same thing with 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to zoom in on this in case you need to copy it. And again, just, you can just pause the video because I'm going to keep going. But if you need this, then just pause the video so that you can copy it. Okay? All right, you guys. So that's all we're doing with reading. We've done language arts. Oh, and my favorite, writing. Here we go. Okay, let's go to writing. Let me get my writing notebook. That is not my writing notebook. Oh no, no, it's here. Good. I thought it was at home. We are going to do a pickup probably next Monday, you guys. So think about materials. If you've lost a writing notebook, hopefully you have it, because this is a nice keepsake for us as we get older. But anything you think you need, start thinking about that already. We're doing another pickup, so I can supply that for you. But we are going on to prompt 6. And you guys, if you want to reserve a page to draw a picture that goes with each prompt, please do that. Okay? Draw your pictures. Art is so important. Or put it up on your board. Okay? So prompt 6, and today it's November, you guys, already. 11/3. All right, so let's see what your prompt is. I think you're flying somewhere today, which is very exciting. And so, yes, it is. So pretend that you can fly wherever you wanted. Where would you go? Oh, whenever. Okay, so you can look at this in 2 different ways, you guys. You can look at this as, am I going to pick 3 different destinations? That's up to you. Or are you just going to focus on one destination, and then what are 3 different things that you're going to do there? Okay? And I think for me, I'm going to choose 3 different destinations. Okay? So remember, you can choose whichever shapes you want to use for your details and your main idea. Just make sure that your main idea has a different shape than your details. Okay? So my main idea is going to be a square this week. And my graphic organizer, and my details are going to be bubbles. Okay, so Here's my main idea sentence, okay? If I could fly whenever I wanted, I would soar to several different places. So I tried to use a different action verb than fly. I tried to vary that, and I'll show you some ways that we can do that this week. And because I'm going to go to several different places, that's just going to be my main idea. And in my details, I'm going to give the places I'm going to go. Now, if you only want to go to one place, let's say you want to go to Myanmar, then you could just say, if I could fly whenever I wanted, I would go to Myanmar, and then leave it like that with your main idea. And then you would give your 3 reasons or your 3 places that you're going to go within Myanmar. Does that make sense? So if you choose one place, you would just write that in your main idea and then describe your reasons and what you would do in your 3 details. But I'm going to go several places. So the first place I'm going to go is I want to go see my mom and dad. And I'm going to get a little more specific because I can handle it, you guys. Mom and dad in Virginia. That would be the first place I would fly, and I would bring my dogs. And the second place, this might not surprise you, second place I would go are to our countries. Now, our country is one. It's not plural. We don't have many countries. We're just one country in the United States. So I do an apostrophe S. If we were talking about many countries, I would drop the Y and I would add IES. Okay? But I'm going to go to our country's national, I wonder if anybody knows the rest of this, parks. Our national parks are my happy place. And then if I could fly wherever, you know, I would probably go, I'm going to say last, I would go to different countries. Now I'm going to drop the Y. To learn various cultures. We've been studying that, right? So I love to learn about new cultures. So I would go to different countries all the time and I would learn new cultures. All right. So now I'm going to combine all of my main idea and my 3 details, right? So if I could fly whenever I wanted, I'm going to make that a contraction. I'm going to combine that now. I'd soar over to Virginia to see my mom and dad. I'm capitalizing that because that's what I call them. I'd go to national parks and different countries to learn their culture. Okay? All right, pre-writing, all done, you guys. That's my favorite. All right, you guys, it's a cool fall day outside. It's a great day to be out and running around. So get your work done, get outside. It's good for your brain. It needs to be part of your daily routine. Run around, find at least one thing that you can do to help your family around the house. And what else? Oh, yes, very important. Be kind to who? Your siblings. Or maybe you only have one, like I did. Be kind to your one sibling. Okay, you guys? I'm going to color. I think you know what I'm going to do with those. So I will see you at our Zoom. You guys have a great morning. Bye.